Hope y'all doing all right. I'm about to start an arrow build here on some of these good Sherwood shaft Doug firs, and I figured if I was gonna start an arrow build, I might as well record it and take y'all with me, show you how I do it. First off, I've got a lot of dozen of these 70-75 shafts, and these are tail tapered. You don't have to have the tail tapered, but I've kind of grown to like them. I think that it speeds up the recovery of your arrow, but that's just my thinking. Haven't proved it. I've killed plenty of critters with just a straight shaft, so don't start thinking you got to have these. This is just something that I like. So they come tail tapered like so. You got to pay extra for that. And then I got this taper tool here that I use, and basically all I do with this is just stick the arrow in. It's on a drill, and that tapers my knot right there. So all it is just you got one end for the point and one end for the knot. So this is the knock end. Perfect every time. Alright, so once I get all my points tapered like that, the next thing I like to do, and a lot of other guys like to do this, just get you some steel wool. I think this is, hold on, I'll tell you. This is triple aught steel wool. And I'll just run over them with that lightly. I hit that taper I just put on a little bit. Same thing. Alright, that's all. I mean, that's smooth as can be. Sometimes that steel wool will stick to that where you just put that bevel on there for your point in. So for the stain, I'm using this Varathane Premium Fast Dry Wood Stain. This is let's see, what's it say? Oil based. I just go down here to the Ace and buy this. That's my stain. And for sealer, I use this Minwax wipe on poly. And that's what I use. So I'm gonna shake this stuff up good. Shake it up real good, and I'm gonna use my little opener here and open it up. Get me some gloves because I hate getting that stain all over my hand. I've tried wiping this stain on and off and all that, and I really, don't get me wrong, I'm not picky about my arrow stain, but I mean, these are some that I did the other night, and I was trying to wipe it on and wipe it off, and I got good spots and bad spots, and I mean, not that it matters, but I mean, I'd rather have a good even stain. So I'm gonna go back to what I started out doing, just pour this stain in a tube and dip them and then wipe it off. Making a mess here. That's alright too. Alright, so I've got my stain in the tube there. I'm gonna let those bubbles settle and give these things a good wipe before I stick them in there. But I just use these wooden clothespins, and what I'll do is I'll dip that in, then I'm just going to pinch it and dip this all the way down in there. Pull it out. And I'm just going to let it drip in there. It's dripping right back in the tube. I hope y'all can see that. Till it's about done. And then I'm going to wipe it off. Not really worried about that knock in, because there's going to be a knock on there. And I'm just going to give it a good that looks pretty good. So then I'm just going to bring that right there and set it. I just want a good even coat on there. That's all I want. Stick it up here next to that one. And I'm going to repeat that. I got 2 dozen shafts right there that I'm going to repeat that same process on. Got it dipped all the way in there. And I'm just going to hold it above it till it quits dripping. Or not till it quits dripping, till it quits running off. It starts just barely dripping. Alright, so yesterday I got all these stained. I figured I would seal them the same way and see how that worked. Like I say, I'm just I'm kind of doing the trial and error method on these arrows. But the first few I built, they turned out alright. But they had spots on them that were, you know, you can tell I didn't get a good even coat on with the stain or the sealer. But most of them are broke or lost right now anyway, so don't really matter. But that's what I'm doing. I'm just put them off here, dipping my point in there. Then I'm just giving it just a little light wipe. Putting the clothespin back on it. Dipping it all the way down. Just letting it run off till it starts to be just a steady drip. Then I'm just moving it over here to sit there and drip and run off, and we'll see what happens. I think it's gonna be fine. So far, this is what the stain looked like yesterday. I'm not sure if y'all can tell or not, but it's a good even. It's a really nice even coating of stain on there. I like the way it looks. The nocks that I use are AAE Plastinox. These are 5/16 fluorescent green. And that's the pack they come in. I buy them 100 at a time, I think's what's in there. Yeah, 100 at a time. But these fluorescent green nocks actually show up pretty doggone good in low light. I mean, us guys shooting wood arrows, we don't have no luminoc to look at. But this is a pretty good knock. I really like them. That's the only knock. I mean, let me pan around here and show you this. But right up there is a stack of wood arrows. I don't think you can really see it good, but let me get you over here. There's a passel of wood arrows that have all been run through critters, and they all got those nocks on them. Same with those up there. I use these nocks because they show up good, and I've got my string build / serving down pat with them. A 12 strand D97 with a .030 serving works perfect with these. It gives you just it can slide up and down on your string slightly, which I got nail knots on my string, but to hold my knock in place. But there's no knock bite with that combination. You find those V's, you line them up with your knock groove, and that's where you glue it down. As far as gluing it down, I use this Loctite super glue gel in this gel control, and that works great. I have used E6000 and it worked great too. I mean, it worked really good. I hadn't had any problems. But anyway, let's get one going. I had just a little bit of bubble where I let these things drip down. I tell you what I think I'm going to do. I'm actually going to just rough it up just a little bit. Just ever slightly, just a little bit with this sandpaper. That's plenty. And now I'm going to put me a little glue all around there, just a little bit. It don't take a lot. Take my knock, find my V's, and I like to stick it on there and twist it a little bit, make sure I get a good that's about perfect right there. Then I'm just going to push it down a little. Take me a paper and just wipe that excess glue off of there. That's another good thing about these. You can actually see your arrow up in there. Need to do any final adjustments right now, because once that stuff sits, it's set. But that's it. You got a V on this side of your nock, a V on that, and then your regular grain, just like that. Here's one finished up. And these are the wild turkey fletchings that I cut in that video I made a while back about the how to make the wild turkey fletchings, from the feather to the fletching. But anyway, we got our staining, we got our sealing, and we got our nocks. So I'm gonna carry on with these. I got 18 more to do, and then I got a couple more dozen to stain and seal. But like I say, I stain one day, or one night I'll stain and let them drip out there in the shop. The next day I'll come in and seal and you know, let them dry for a day, whatnot, and then, you know, put my nock on, let it, you know, it's a process. I don't try to do it all in one day. But I'm doing this now in June. I'm getting all my arrows ready in June and July, where I don't have to worry about it come your prime hunting month, September, October, November, December, you know. I'm done with arrows. I'll be done with arrows. All I'm gonna have to do is sharpen some heads and glue some points on for these. But get your arrows and get all your stuff now, because once hunting season comes in, you're not gonna be able to get it. Trust me, I've been there. That's exactly how I learned that you can shoot a left bevel, single bevel on a right wing feather. I know that's probably gonna blow some of your minds, but half the animals I killed last year with grizzly heads were with the wrong fletching. A left wing bevel, or a left bevel on a right wing head, or a right wing. It don't matter. Keep it 15 yards and under, and it don't matter. When you run into troubles, when you start trying to stretch it a little bit. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. But y'all get your stuff, get your gear together right now, because everybody's gonna wait till the last minute, and you're not gonna get any of this stuff. It's gonna be hard to find. So stock up with your arrows, your broadheads, for sure, right now in the summer. All right. Alright, what I'm about to do now, I've already stained and sealed these arrows, got the nocks on them, so now I'm going to fletch you up and see how they shoot. Fletchings I'm using are Gateway. These are 4-inch feathers. Gateway 4-inch shield cut. I really don't want to use, I got a good many wild turkey feathers, but I really want to save them for my deer hunting. And my next hunt I go on, probably if I shoot an arrow, I'll never find it, never get my hands on it again unless it stays in an animal. But we're gonna fletch these up, and that'll conclude the whole process of building these wood arrows for you. So, oh, I personally like the tape. That's what I like, and that's all I've ever used on these wood arrows myself that I've done. And I know I think Foster liked the gel glue right here. A lot of guys don't like the tape. I like it because I can fletch a bunch of arrows quick with it, and I haven't had any problems with it. Bitzenberger, right wing. There's your right wing clamp. And I use a straight wing to get my tape set on them. and I'm gonna show y'all how I do it all. Got this set where my cock feather's up. Two of those. And one of these. All right. First thing I do, so that's gonna be my cock feather. I'm gonna put it in that straight clamp, like so. Pull my tape down where I want it, then I'm just gonna pull it off the clamp. Cut that. Make sure I got that side good and stuck to it. All right, got my little Taito knife here. Got my glue stuck to there. Now I'm just gonna pull this feather off, and I'm gonna trim that little bit of tape off there, flush with my fletching. I'm gonna take this knife, stick in there and peel that. This is the hardest part, trying to separate that little piece of film there. This is how I do it. All right, I got it separated. I'm just gonna peel it off. All right, stick this in my clamp. I got a little mark right there on my jig, right there where I like my I know that's how far back I like the fletchings on my arrows for myself. So I know that's my cock feathers up because it's flat right there. All I'm gonna do is put that on there, press down. I've already got this thing set how I like it for helical. Boom, that's done. Now what I do like to do is take this knife and put on that edge of that quill and just push it all the way down through there. See, it's got that little flat curve. I just run it down through there. Spin it. Straight clamp. You don't have to go to the straight clamp, but I like the straight clamp to get it seated good. Stick it right there. You know, I've had people tell me that they don't like the tape because of, you know, it gets hot and comes undone, but I mean, I live down here in South Georgia and I haven't had any trouble with it. And I mean, if my bow is in the truck when it's hot, I got the windows down. But this tape right here, this roll of tape right here has been out here in my shop. And I bet it's 120 degrees in this shop during the daytime, and I haven't had any problems. Just push that down good. That's it. Turn it one more time. Straight clamp. I use this straight clamp for all kind of things. For my turkey feathers when I'm grinding them. I have never run a straight fletching on any of my arrows. I like a helical. My point of thinking is the more spin on that arrow, it's like a rifling on a gun barrel type of thing. I'm gonna seat that down real good. I forgot to trim it. Just a little bit right there. Trim that. Front's good. And go ahead and stick it. Slide it down to where I want it there. Just take the very tip of that thing and stick in there and pop it loose there. Boom. That's done. Pop it off. Come right down it. And now the final touch. Put a dab of glue. Right there. Right there. Just on the front edge. And I'm gonna come back here to the back and do the same thing on the back. I'm about out of glue. Alright, and that one's done. Check out that helical. Alright, so that's it. This is what it looks like from the back. Coming at you from the front. And these arrows here I'm shooting are Sherwood shafts. 70-75s, and just the shafts on these weigh 440 to 450, and I'm going to be shooting them with 160 to 190, maybe a 200 grain. I'm gonna get out here and play with these and see what they like the best, and that's what I'm gonna go with. I want to be able to stretch these out just a little bit farther than 15 yards, but when I get some points put on them, I'll do a little video of me shooting them and we'll take y'all along with me. But that concludes the arrow build. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and y'all count your blessings.